a little bit on the kind of like back to the Philadelphia side. And so the officer's guidance was what they've been telling other people, just be careful. And as we proceed to just try to, make sure we're aware, because this was a full-out police pursuit. Jim, excuse me. Sean, let's do it here. Let's stop right there. We're trying to establish a live shot, Jim, so I'm going to drop off.
You go do that.
Here,
you go do that, Joe.
I'll join you.
All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. So again, we've got a very active scene here, folks. Information is changing as the moments pass on here. Joe Holden just saying possibly an apprehension has been made. But for those of you just joining us, so this is what we're dealing with, okay? Breaking news right now in Montgomery County. Neighbors in the Bala Cynwyd area, a certain section of Bala Cynwyd, are being told to shelter in place. What we have learned is shortly before noon that there was some sort of police chase where police in Philadelphia were chasing after what we've been told are 3 possibly armed men who are possibly involved in a series of Brinks truck armed robberies from over the summer. This chase crossed over City Avenue into Bala Cynwyd, and that's what we're dealing with here. You see chopper footage of police authorities on the scene, both uniformed and ununiformed officers in the area of Snowden Road and Conshohocken State Road near Cynwyd Heritage Trail. Right now, authorities are telling people to shelter in place, lock your doors, and stay inside. Do not answer the door, and also do not approach any police officers at this point. If you see any of the individuals they're looking for, they're saying call 911 immediately. Now, at this point, again, Joe's been hearing that perhaps apprehension has been made. We don't know if it's 1, 2, all 3, but we do know the descriptions of at least 2 of the suspects. We have a black male in his 30s wearing a black T-shirt, black shorts, ankle socks, and sneakers. The second suspect, we have been told, is a short black male wearing silver socks and silver sneakers. And that third suspect, we do not have a description right now. Now, among the concerns, obviously, it is a school day. School has, right after lunchtime here, there are a certain number of schools that are in lockdown right now. So I want to take to that list. We have Belmont Hills Elementary School. We have Cynwyd Elementary School, Merion Elementary School, Penn Valley and Penn Wynn Elementary Schools. On the middle school side, we've got Bala Cynwyd Middle School, Welsh Valley Middle School, and Lower Merion High School. So again, these schools are in lockdown right now. We also understand that a number of private schools in that area are in lockdown as well. But the list that we just gave you, we got that from Lower Merion Police. So we're still working to see on what the private schools and private religious schools that are in the area that may be on lockdown as well. But again, these schools are familiar with lockdowns, unfortunately, in this day and age, and this is out of an abundance of caution. We just want to point that out. There's been no threat to the schools, but again, these suspects right now, police are looking for them, and we are being told that 1 or more of these suspects are in custody as part of this search. At this point, we do not know how many have been apprehended, but police are saying, stay indoors, lock your house, and do not answer the door until this thing ends. So in addition to the suspects, we're told that there was a vehicle possibly involved. They're identifying it as a white Charger with Pennsylvania license plates of MNG 4029. They're saying if you see any of the suspects, who they have identified 2 of them, a black male in his 30s wearing a black T-shirt, black shorts, ankle socks, and sneakers, and also a short black male, silver socks and sneakers. Now, we're going to be bringing in Natasha's joining me here in the studio, Natasha Brown. So, Natasha, what are you hearing from the newsroom at this point? Yeah, we're just still trying to get more information about, how this all transpired and how many suspects they have in custody at this point. We're hearing there may be as many as 3. There was 3 on that they're looking for. Joe just said he knows, at least he believes an apprehension has been made. Could be 1, could be more. Yeah. But again, at this point, lockdown, do not answer the door, do not approach police. They're just, trying to find these people. And again, as I've been mentioning, this all involves the Brinks, series of Brinks truck armed robberies that happened over the summer, beginning in June through the middle of August. We want to go back to Joe. I think he's established a live shot right now. There's Joe. Joe, can you hear me? It's Jim and Natasha.
Yeah, Jim. Hey, Natasha, good afternoon. So, Sean, my photographer, we're just setting up here, and we see police just going from house to house, sort of clearing houses to make sure that they haven't missed anything. We are still a little bit above where all of this ended, but you can see officers in tactical gear and SWAT equipment. They converged on a house. Sean, go to your left, please, if you could, and just show them. See, this house is under construction, so they very carefully went into that house first. In fact, we were surprised. We had no idea they were there, and that is sort of the tenseness of this situation as they walk up and down the streets, literally clearing homes. What brought us to all of this, I'll recap. I know you guys have been talking about it for some period of time, but we were in sort of an alert of there was possibly a group of people casing a Brinks truck somewhere in West Philadelphia, and then there's a police pursuit, and then that takes us into an area of Lower Merion Township. I'm here in the middle of Conshohocken State Road, and in fact, some of the officers we've been speaking with tell us that you see the utility crew that was sort of like in the foreground while we were talking about the officers. They were told to basically stop your work, get out of the neighborhood, go back, get your equipment, and bring it back to your truck. So while the officers on the left of the screen passing our live truck there are taking in what they can see, making sure they are clearing these neighborhoods. You had what was workers in the middle of a Friday afternoon doing utility repairs here, told to get out. They described what was a high-speed police pursuit that came down Conshohocken State Road, and we're just a little bit above where this is where this fully played out. You can see the police vehicles. We were advised by a Philadelphia police officer just up the street to not go any further than the middle of the block. Sean Talent, we see more police coming into your back here. And again, this again gives you a sense. This is Haverford Township. It appears that a number of SWAT teams from the area were dispatched to come here and assist Lower Merion and Philadelphia police.
So Joe,
we are also waiting for the FBI. Sure.
To ask, so you had initially heard that possibly at least one apprehension may be made. Any updates on that?
So, Jim, it possibly one apprehension, but again, it's not confirmed,
okay.
So I want to be careful.
Okay.
But some of my police sources indicating that they believe that they were making good headway in getting all three suspects in custody.
Okay.
I'm being careful because I just want to make sure that we're not giving people a sense of, okay, they're in custody when our sources who are the brass of both the Philadelphia Police Department and some departments in Montgomery County are still sorting some of this out.
Yeah, so this is a multi-jurisdictional kind of a search effort here. We understand, Joe, as you're talking to us about how many entities are involved here. You've got Bala Cynwyd, Montgomery County officers from different areas and different departments, as well as Philadelphia Police. And this is also crossing into Philadelphia. We've got our Nikki Dimitri as well, who's following this story and the journey that police have been on right now, just trying to figure out what these suspects were doing, how many are now in custody, and what the search is like right now. So let's get to Nikki.
Hi there, Natasha. So we just spoke with law enforcement off camera. They do tell us that a couple of people are in custody. They would not confirm exactly how many people were taken in custody. Several, though, they say were taken in custody here in West Philadelphia. Take a look at the scene right now. This road just opened up and it was blocked off for only about half a block. You can see Reno Street right here. We're near 52nd and Parrish, so 52nd and Reno. That's where that investigation was focused on. There was a car near that red fire hydrant. You could see that was also towed, and that's what law enforcement told us off camera, that again, a couple people are in custody, taken into custody here in West Philadelphia. They can't confirm how many. They did say that there were no injuries during all of this afternoon. Several cars were being towed. We got video of that within the last 5-10 minutes that happened, and traffic again is allowed back on this road. Now, we were told that we should be expecting to hear a further statement from the FBI. You heard Joe talk about that as well. There might be some type of press conference later today as well. Again, this is confirmed that it's connected to that Lower Merion incident, and I should say The law enforcement is telling us off camera several people were taken into custody. A number on that they wouldn't confirm at this hour, but several were taken into custody here in West Philadelphia. Sending it back to you guys in the studio.
Okay.
Go ahead, Jim.
Nikki Dementri, we appreciate that. So at this point, we've got some people in custody in West Philadelphia. The concern now is what's happening in Bala Cynwyd. So, I mean, are the three involved in this West Philly part? Is it another group here? You know, we're just not sure because we haven't had confirmation yet from authorities.
Yeah, and we know that Joe was out there. He was saying that we saw the law enforcement officers heavily armed, as you saw, because they believed that these suspects were heavily armed at the time. So they were going door to door out there in Bala Cynwyd, again, just alerting residents. I mean, here it is. What is it? 1:09 in the afternoon on a Friday. Many folks possibly could be at home. Schools are on lockdown. This is just a normal, beautiful afternoon. So they're going door to door just to make sure that residents are safe, and possibly even telling them, you know, to, again, stay on lockdown. Don't engage with anyone. Don't engage with police officers. Just stay on alert and stay inside while this investigation plays out. Again, a multi-jurisdictional investigation that's playing out here into these suspects, who we understand two are now in custody. Not sure how many more they're searching for. But again, this is playing out in two different areas here in the
West
city
Philly
of Philadelphia and also in the suburbs out there in Bala Cynwyd and the Lower Merion area. So lots of folks are involved, and there's a lot to process here in terms of the chain of events.
Moving parts, lots of moving parts
what's
to
happening.
this.
So,
for those of you that are just joining us, I think we need to do a little bit of a recap. So for those of you who just joined, this happened just a few minutes before noon this afternoon, as you know, Natasha. And that's when we were told by Montgomery County that there was a shelter in place issued in this one section of Bala Cynwyd where Joe is in that area right now. This is as an active search was underway for what we were told at that point was 3 armed suspects on the run. These suspects were believed to have been involved in some way with those Brinks truck armed robberies that occurred over the summer. You may recall literally every week or two there was another armed robbery. Started on June 26th. July 2nd, we had another one, July 15th, July 22nd, ending in August 12th. And I mean, at that point, you know, things became quiet. And we were told that this basically led to this chase today
that they think they may have the suspects who were involved in all of these Brinks truck robberies here. So we know that Joe Holden again is out there in Bala Cynwyd. This is what our chopper is live over right now in Bala Cynwyd, Montgomery County. Joe, what are you seeing right now? What can you tell us is happening out there in that neighborhood?
Yeah, well, Natasha, we're in the 400 block of Conshohocken State Road, and I have to tell you, SWAT has returned to some of these properties. Not sure what has their attention. I'm trying to speak softly because I don't want to take away their attention, but they're well aware that we're here, and it doesn't seem that we're in their way, but they are focused on these 2 homes in the 400 block of Conshohocken State Road. I have to point out the one home to the left there is a renovation, and so there's no door on the front, and they seem to be very interested if there was possibly that home providing shelter to suspects connected to all of this. We are gathering information, and our sources are saying that there are at least one apprehension. But what I'm looking at, I see SWAT coming down, more law enforcement coming into the area. Something tells me that this is not resolved, and not everybody connected to this is in custody, because we still see police coming into the area. My producer Becca telling me that Chopper is giving us aerials of some of what is playing out here on the ground. Have to stress, just from what I'm seeing here at this location, and again, we are back, we are allowing police to do their work, that there is an extreme tense atmosphere in Bala Cynwyd, Lower Merion Township. That's why all of those schools are on lockdown out of an abundance of precaution. And except for those utility workers that I pointed out in the last live shot who had a basically scurry back down and grab their equipment and get out. We have not seen a single soul. People in this neighborhood clearly heeding police advice and staying inside. As Nikki Dementry pointed out in her report, we are trying to wrap heads around multiple scenes, but best source information right now from Philadelphia law enforcement sources. This began as this crew was allegedly, again, casing a Brinks truck or a bank truck. I'm not sure if it was specifically a Brinks truck, but this has happened time and time again this past summer. In fact, the first incident drew, I believe, approaching $1 million that they netted from that holdup, according to federal law enforcement. And then it happened over and over again throughout the summer. As I'm talking, Sean, I think we can move down a little bit and see if we can get a better guess and a better handle on what's going on. But as I was saying about these armored car robberies, they continue to happen. Law enforcement eventually pressed us to put out information and bulletins on the people behind all of this. And just as recently as within the last month, we were still sharing information to help federal law enforcement figure out who was behind this. And then that brings us to around noon today, Friday, where, again, sources telling us it was believed they were casing yet another armored truck, and then a pursuit begins, leaves West Philadelphia, and then ends up here in Bala Cynwyd, centered in an area just down the bend of Conshohocken State Road. On the other side of where you see some law enforcement cars parked is this neighborhood, and we're speaking specifically about East Lodges Lane, which is where this, according to sources, came to a head. To be cautious, we're going to maintain our distance and let law enforcement do their work. But as far as I can tell from here, we watched with you SWAT go from a few homes here. They were very interested in this area, which is why we are staying on this side of the road. I will tell you that while watching them do their work, it didn't seem that they were believing to be imminent danger here, but nevertheless, they continue to move their way. I know it's difficult to see because they are in the brush down there, moving along Conshohocken State Road. The way you are looking is in the direction of Philadelphia, and you see a Philadelphia police unit parked up top on Conshohocken State Road. So I'm going to check to see if we have any information, because I keep asking our sources about apprehensions. And so far, no word on that. Also, no word on possible injuries from this side of this breaking news, but we are working our sources, and Jim and Natasha will send it back to you.
And
going
Joe,
house by house.
Yeah, going house by house, Joe, and you're saying, but you're still sensing this very tense posture among police officers out there, and the officers that you are seeing that are looking at those properties out there. Have you've not seen any neighbors, because they've been told to stay inside, stay sheltered in place? Are they going up to the doors of homes? Are they searching properties, or what are you seeing them doing?
They are. So the properties immediately behind me, they've gone into. The one has no doors, so it's a remodel again. In fact, I don't think it's out of the question to show you what we're talking about and get a little closer. They've apparently cleared this property. But to your point, Natasha, that speaks to the level of anxiety out here, is that it does not look like this is resolved to the degree that everyone's ready to take their foot off the gas and, wind down. This is where we first noticed, and I'm going to give it to you straight. We had a wagon with us with our equipment and literally heard something behind us, and it was about a half dozen members of a SWAT unit in the area who had positioned themselves right in this home here, and they go in. We didn't hear any verbal commands, we didn't hear any announcements, but they went here, then they moved away, then they came back. So this is just a snapshot, really, of what is happening all over this neighborhood. We saw it for ourselves, but we know that this is not isolated to just this street. This is happening in all of these neighborhoods. And honestly, the Philadelphia police officer who told us stay towards the middle of the block, He sent the utility folks back to get their equipment, so we are sort of keeping a bit of a distance out of an abundance of caution, which is what has been advised for the school children in this area, as well as everybody else.
Well,
They've
Joe,
been asked to stay in their homes.
We'll give you a minute to check with your sources out there, but I do want to talk about the schools right now.
Yeah, let's talk
Obviously,
about it, because a lot of them are.
a lot of these schools have prepared for lockdowns and other situations as well. We want to let you know exactly which schools are involved right now. It's Belmont Hills Elementary School, Cynwyd Elementary School, Merion Elementary School, Penn Valley, and Penn Wynn Elementary Schools. We've got 2 middle schools as well, Bala Cynwyd Middle School, Welsh Valley Middle School, and Lower Merion High School. As Joe mentioned, excuse me, Becca, our producer, speaking to me right now. Also, private schools in that area, religious schools in the area, probably on lockdown as well, but this is the list that we were given by authorities earlier. And again, this is out of abundance of caution, as Joe said. In these types of situations, better be safe than sorry. They just want to make sure that all the kids are safe. They've gone through these drills before. But again, this has been going on now for probably about an hour and a half. That's when we learned of this breaking news situation and residents being told to shelter in place.
Yeah, and again, as Joe was telling us, still a very tense posture out there from the police officers that he is seeing, still canvassing that neighborhood there in Bala Cynwyd where Joe is. We heard from Nikki Dimitri, who was in West Philadelphia earlier, telling us that her sources are telling her that a couple of suspects have been taken into custody. But again, lots of information out there. We're still trying to confirm how many, if any, have been taken into custody at this point.
Conflicting information at this point, because West Philadelphia is one location, and then we've got Bala Cynwyd on the other.
Merion in Montgomery County. So obviously all of these police departments working together to try to figure this all out and try to get these suspects into custody. And just to give you some perspective, our news director, who knows that area well, came out a little while ago just to give us some perspective as to where Joe is in Bala Cynwyd and where Nikki is. We say West Philly, we talk about Bala Cynwyd. Literally, she says it's about 2 miles apart. Yeah. So that's how close this all is happening. This kind of trajectory of where it started in West Philadelphia, where it's now kind of evolving into this Lower Merion area, just a couple miles apart from each other, as we know that West Philly kind of borders that Montgomery County area. Apparently,
this chase began in West Philly, crossed over City Avenue, and then got into Bala Cynwyd earlier. And initially, we were told that the police were looking for 3 men that were involved or possibly involved in the Brinks truck, the armed robberies. They gave us descriptions of 2 of them. Joe initially said that an apprehension he had heard was made, but no additional information on that. Nikki is telling us possibly some people were taken into custody at over in West Philadelphia. And again, this all involves the Brinks truck armed robberies that we've been following all summer long.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
Literally every week or so, there was another armed robbery. Began on June 26th. There was another one on July 2nd, another one on the 15th of July, the 22nd July. And then all of a sudden, after August 12th, that was the last one, things became quiet. So we all wondered, what's going on here? And as Joe mentioned, there's a possibility that these suspects, who police initially believed were armed, that they perhaps were casing out another truck for possibly another robbery.
And that's what started the chain of events for today that may have led to at least a capture or 2 already in this case. We're still trying to figure that out. But again, it started out with them noticing the suspects looking at and ultimately surveying whatever was happening with an armored truck in West Philadelphia. So that's why the chase started in West Philadelphia, crossed over into Bala Cynwyd, Lower Merion type of area, which is where our chopper is right now, live over what's happening in that neighborhood. And that's where our Joe Holden is as well. So let's get back to him. Joe, do you have some more information for us?
Yeah, just new information from my sources in Lower Merion Township Police that there are 2 in custody. So if we are going off of the assumption that police were initially looking for 3, that is why there is still such a tense posture, is that the 3rd suspect, believed to be connected to all of this, is still not in custody. We did take ourselves to the bend of Conshohocken State Road. I'll step out of the shot. There appeared to be a meeting of law enforcement in the middle of that intersection. We're near Conshohocken State Road, East Lodges, if you're familiar with the area. And every vehicle you see, and that is a law enforcement vehicle, K-9 units from all over Montgomery County, Philadelphia police. But I want to emphasize the information we're just getting from sources is that 2 in custody, and I'm told we should at some point hear from Chief of Lower Merion Township Police. I believe they refer to him as the superintendent. That is Andy Block. So he'll at some point be giving us an update. But when that might occur and when people might be able to sort of resume normal life out here is hard to say, because we are still going off of some preliminary information that there were more than just 2 that they were looking for. So we're just steps from where I saw you last, as police were going from home to home, and they're fully geared up SWAT officers. So we're keeping eyes on both sides of where we're standing to see what plays out. The very large unit in the middle of the road, that would generally be considered the command post. So we are not far from where really the nerve center of this law enforcement operation is playing out. I've attempted to flag down officers I've seen over the years, and everyone still appeared to be in a tense posture. So still waiting to talk with people to get a sense of what they've been experiencing since they've been out here. And we're going to work on that, as we've been working on gathering information from our sources on both sides of City Avenue. We have information coming not only from Lower Merion and Montgomery County, but also from Delaware County and naturally Philadelphia. And Philadelphia police they're trying to figure out, Jim and Natasha, the role that is to be played on their end of this. So this is where coordination begins, and they build a case beyond these Brinks truck armed robberies, and then now talk about the element of a police pursuit that put an entire neighborhood in jeopardy and really brought about this type of response. When I say anxiety, that is not an embellishment. It is anxious out here as we watch police doing their work, and I'm recognizing some federal agents out here as well.
And Joe, what are we seeing there, Joe? Is that the car that initially? Tell us about that car again. Can you set the scene for what they're taking away there?
This is that white car.
So that is a Honda Civic with a white paper plate. So it is a temporary registration, which is, let's talk about our depth of experience here with these types of crimes. We followed the carjacking epidemic in Philadelphia for years. Stolen cars, those paper tags are notoriously used to conceal identity, conceal vehicle registration, the real owner. That white Honda Civic, yet to be confirmed its actual role in all of this, but it is on the back of a tow truck, and it is heading towards Philadelphia down Conshohocken State Road. We're going to have to work to confirm. I won't go away for long, but I'm going to try to figure out what exactly that car has to do with this investigation. Yeah,
interestingly enough, I mean, the police did, Lower Merion police did release a description of the vehicle. It was white, but it wasn't a Honda. It was a Charger with PA registration and a license plate. But, you know, obviously this isn't a Charger. It's a white vehicle, but we weren't able to see the plates there. So, yeah. And
Joe, I'm sorry, you did confirm with your sources that 2 suspects were taken into custody. I'm sorry, I did not get to hear if you said this or not. Were they taken into custody in West Philadelphia?
I don't have that information on where they were apprehended. My sources providing that information are here in Montgomery County. Okay. So that information did not come from Philadelphia. And to give you a sense of how we're working these multiple sources, some sources are getting their information firsthand from police radio, which we know we have to work a little bit more harder, make that to nail down exactly what is the accurate information beyond just what's being heard over police radio. So numerous law enforcement agencies, their involvement gives this detail of, well, they're not here, they're in Philadelphia, and you see how coordination can get a little murky.
Yeah.
But I'm pulling up the alert that went out initially because I know of all of the emails I've read on this, there was information that they were looking for 3 actors or suspects.
Yes.
And I'm looking at that now, again, reconfirming that, because I knew there was a question about if there were 2 in custody, why still the uptick in posture here, and that is why, because they do not have the third of this in custody.
All right, Joe, thank you so much. I know you said that we were expecting some kind of a briefing from the chief of police there in Lower Merion in just a short time. So we're going to let you kind of continue to work your sources and keep us up to date. Of course, we're going to come right back to you when that happens, when they ultimately do start talking to the media about what they know at this point.
But as of right now, we do understand that the lockdown still is in place at a number of schools. Some of them I want to put up on the screen here. We have Belmont Hills Elementary School, Cynwyd Elementary, Merion Elementary, Penn Valley and Penn Wynn Elementary Schools, as well as Bala Cynwyd Middle School, Welsh Valley Middle School, and Lower Merion High School. Also private and parochial schools in the area on lockdown as well. Again, this is out of an abundance of caution, as we want to make sure everyone understands there's been no threat that we're aware of to the schools. It's just that when police were looking for these 3 perhaps armed suspects as part of this chase, they wanted to make sure that the school kids were safe. We have video of these the Brinks truck.
We have video of where this all started. Let's talk about. I'm sorry, this is file video from some of the robberies we've been talking about that happened over the summer. This is July 15th that we're looking at here, and this was the scene that played out there surrounding that Brinks truck robbery in July. That was July 15th. This is August 12th here, what we're looking at. So we pretty much covered all of these, as you can imagine. They were all violent robberies. They were all heavily armed suspects who were doing these robberies. You can see there an assault-style rifle there being used by one suspect, or at least being brandished at this point by one suspect.
And the interesting thing, Natasha, is this August 12th robbery. This happened at the same store from the July 22nd event as well. It was hit both times. And in this case, this was Old York Road in Cheltenham, was robbed by 2 unknown suspects. The suspects were observed, as you can see there, on footage, surveillance footage from the parking area there. A Brinks employee walked towards the entrance of the store. 2 suspects approached the employee, one armed with a black handgun, the other with, as you mentioned there, an AR-style rifle. And the suspects took off with a bag filled with money and fled the scene in an Acura, which was later recovered. So
yeah, and we're hearing again, these are big hauls that they were getting, at least off of some of these Brinks trucks. I mean, Joe mentioned one of these robberies. They actually stole as much as $1 million in one of the robberies. So this has been 5 robberies over this summer. There's been a lull since that August 12th, the last robbery that we heard about. And now here it is, October 3rd. Just a couple months later, and we're seeing all this police activity again, all starting with what they believe possibly could have been another armored truck robbery that was going to happen this afternoon at some point.
They were casing it.
Casing a truck, and that is what started this this frenzy of events that we're seeing here between Philadelphia and Lower Merion, Montgomery County area.
I mean, there's been a huge amount of investigation on this. I mean, the FBI issued in August a reward of $10,000 for information leading to an arrest and conviction of these suspects. So again, I mean, this has been, but it was interesting that there was this lull, because even those of us in the newsroom were like, what happened? All of a sudden they just disappear.
And you know, usually that doesn't happen, because here's the deal. They think that they've gotten away with, what, 5 already?
Yeah.
So as long as they were going to get away with it, then they were going to keep doing it. That's usually the trend that happens. So again, looks like from what sources are telling our Joe Holden out there in Bala Cynwyd, sources are saying 2 suspects are in custody. But again, the initial report that went out was that they were looking for 3 suspects. And that is why you don't see a de-escalation there out there with police in armored gear and also in their heavy weaponry, because they do believe possibly there's another suspect out there. We don't know, but there's certainly still a tense posture there with police who are going door to door and canvassing areas and homes there in Bala Cynwyd right now, and still lots of police activity, a flurry of activity playing out there in that neighborhood.
And again, Nikki DeBentry earlier reported about possible suspects being in custody. We don't know if this is the same suspects that Joe was talking about, because we're dealing with two different things here. Obviously, everything started in West Philadelphia. As we pointed out earlier, we're not dealing with a large stretch of area.
2 miles.
Yeah, we're dealing with crossing over City Avenue, and then you're in Bala Cynwyd.
Yeah.
So we do not know at this point. We are hearing that 2 suspects are in custody. Is that just in Bala Cynwyd? Is it people that are in West Philadelphia? Again, we're waiting to hear from authorities. And again, that leaves the question of, if they were looking for 3, where is that third person?
That's exactly
they initially
right.
only came out with a description of 2 of the suspects that they were looking for. One was a black male, 30s, black shirt, black shorts, and ankle socks and sneakers, and the other was a short black male, silver socks and sneakers. That's not a lot to go on. And the third person they didn't give an identification with. So this is why they issued this lockdown for the schools. They were telling people to shelter in place, do not approach any officers. They had both uniformed and ununiformed officers, and as Joe was saying, SWAT tactical units going literally door to door in Bala Cynwyd.
And that's why he's saying that, thank goodness, people are heeding the warning. He has seen no activity among residents there in that area, which is exactly what police want. No activity at all. That's why they issue a shelter in place or tell folks to stay inside as investigations like this play out. So you're seeing no activity among residents, which is a good thing. Stay inside, let the police do their work. That's why you're still seeing the lockdowns at schools, because they want to make sure there are several schools around this area. They want to make sure that schools are safe as well, and there is no activity outside of the schools. So Chopper 3 has pretty much been bouncing around between West Philadelphia and Bala Cynwyd, right now hovering over the Bala Cynwyd area, where we're still seeing a lot of police activity. And we're going to get back now to Joe Holden, who is right out there in Bala Cynwyd. He may have some more information for us now. Joe.
So we have Chief of Police with Lower Merion Township, Andy Block. Andy, just could you kind of take us from the top with what you guys have right now?
Sure. Around 11 o'clock this morning, we received a call from Philadelphia Police and the FBI that they were in pursuit of 3 individuals that were wanted for the armored car robberies in the city of Philadelphia. The pursuit ended up in Lower Merion, going through Bala Cynwyd and Merion. We got additional information that the white Honda that they were trying to stop was located at the dead end of Snowden Road off of Conshohocken State Road in Bala Cynwyd. Our officers, along with Philadelphia, responded to that location. We located the car. It was unoccupied, but there were weapons in that car. We believe everybody was out on foot. That's when we started tracking the individuals with our emergency response teams, as well as our canine units. Philadelphia Police, around noon, located a vehicle that was also involved in this, a Charger, down on 52nd Street. They stopped that vehicle and took 2 individuals into custody that were wanted in this incident. And then shortly after that, we located another individual on Clive Road in Lower Merion Township off of Conshohocken State Road, who was just taken into custody. So there are 3 into custody right now. We're still doing a sweep of the area, making sure that there's nobody else involved in this.
Any injuries to police or public?
No, nobody was injured in this, thank God, at this point. There's a very, very heavy police presence. The residences in Lower Merion were advised to go into a shelter in place. The local schools were put in the lockdown, the Cynwyd Elementary School and the Bala Cynwyd Middle School and Belmont Hills Elementary School, just as a precaution as a result of the activity in the area.
So, Chief, they show up here in a white Honda Civic, which we have seen leaving here on the back of a tow truck. And then they access a Dodge Charger and then get to West Philadelphia, 52nd and Parish?
That's what we're understanding, that they were on foot. They were calling the individual driving the Charger. The individual picked them up and they were going to the city. Philadelphia located them down on 52nd Street, took them into custody, but there was a third that was still on foot, which we've located over on Collin Lane.
Are you advising the schools to remain in lockdown at this point?
We are at this point until my emergency response team is back, finishing the secondary search of the area. And when they go to dismiss, we'll have officers up there as well, just out of precaution.
The apprehensions, they happen in Philadelphia. That was by Philadelphia Police.
Correct. The 2 in Philadelphia, and then our officers, along with Philadelphia Police and the FBI, made the apprehension in Lower Merion.
Chief, we've used the words tense posture a lot in our coverage of your efforts here to apprehend. Could you describe knowing with what these suspects are accused of, what it's alleged they've done? They've created havoc across the city all summer, and it ends up on your doorstep.
Well, we're only here to assist. You know, we work with Philadelphia police all the time. They work with us as well as the FBI, and it's a situation where it unfolded in Philadelphia. They notified us they needed our assistance, and we were only too happy to assist with them and take them into custody. It's been a regional issue over the summer months with these individuals, and they had the warrants for them, so we're only too happy to be able to help our partners out.
Will face additional charges related to all of this?
If it does, it'll go through Philadelphia simply because it's a continual course of action from the city of Philadelphia.
Neighbors are breathing a sigh of relief here right now?
They are right now, but we still have not lifted the shelter in place until my teams are back, just verifying and making sure that there's nobody else involved in this that are hunkered down in the area.
Superintendent of Police Andy Block. Andy, thank you very much for your time. Appreciate your information. So Jim and Natasha, so as we were up top of that hill and we were watching those units clear those houses, clearly Chief Block described what it was they were doing. He is waiting for further guidance to essentially scale down what it is we see here and allow people to no longer have to shelter in place. Sean, if you come out into the middle of Conshohocken State Road, if we have aerials, this is the part of the neighborhood where it all ended. And you see clearly this is a no outlet from where I am standing. We saw the video of that white Honda Civic leaving this area, heading back to Philadelphia. The chief somewhat modest in his officers' work today in describing they're only here to assist, but it is their officers that essentially brought resolution to this. That white Honda Civic, again, that is the vehicle we just have now been able to confirm was the vehicle that triggered all of this. And then it sounds like from the police description, two of the suspects called for a ride, and this white Charger then comes into play and then later ends up at 52nd and Parish where Nikki Dementry is and has been reporting, and then there are apprehensions made there. Jim, go ahead.
Yeah, no, the pieces get put together because obviously we were trying to figure out if there was an issue with the car description, but obviously, you know, the first description that we had with the Charger, that's what went out, and then when the Honda went by. So again, we've got the two suspects in custody in West Philly. We've got the last suspect arrested Lower Merion there. So putting all the pieces together, quick work by law enforcement, definitely, Joe.
Yeah. And great collaboration.
Jim, I'm here. I'm actually with a few.
No, go
Jim
ahead,
and
Joe.
Natasha, I'm here with a few neighbors, and this gentleman's name is Mark, correct, Mark?
Yeah, that's right.
And you've been here for the better part of a few hours?
Not quite. Maybe about an hour, hour and 15 minutes.
You live in the area, Mark?
I do. I live right down in the neighborhood where all the action's going on.
Were you home at the time?
I was not. I was at the eye doctor, but my phone started blowing up with, you know, it's a very close-knit neighborhood down there, so we were all texting each other trying to figure out what the heck was going on.
The fact that they've made apprehensions, they're waiting for some further information to release your neighborhood from all of this police activity, but
yeah.
You're relieved. I don't want to put words in your mouth.
No, I think that's a fair statement. I think we're probably all really relieved that the officers did all their jobs and everybody's safe.
How long have you lived here, Mark?
18 years.
18 years. And this is not something you see on the regular?
No, somebody else asked that. You know, it's like, you know, is this something that goes on in this neighborhood? And the answer is absolutely not. No, it's very quiet. Like, you know, it was one of the reasons why we moved here, because it was such a tight-knit neighborhood, and you always felt that you had it was safe for your kids to go out and play. And I don't know, I still feel that way today, notwithstanding.
Mark, a few of your neighbors were here speaking, you know, with us before we just came over and happened on you. What's the conversation like? Intense?
Yeah. I mean, you know, I guess with any, you know, rapidly developing situation, the lack of information makes everybody a little nervous. But, you know, I think we started getting like text updates from Lower Merion. You know, I think we were as well informed as we could have been. I feel particularly lucky just being able to stand here next to these guys while they were doing their job. But yeah. And that was Chris. Chris, can we bother you for a minute, or you rather not? Just another note. Thank you. Yeah, we're literally just asking folks, and thanks guys. We are live on the air and just trying to process with you what this has been like. Just quickly, the afternoon.
Yeah, we got a text that the schools were on lockdown. We have a daughter at Lower Merion High School, so that was concerning. And then we stepped outside, and there's been a helicopter circling overhead. There's been police cars all around the neighborhood. I think evidence that the crew here was doing a great job trying to track the suspects down, and I'm glad that it sounds like they've apprehended the suspects.
Thank you to both of you. Really appreciate your time. And we're going to leave you, Jim and Natasha, as law enforcement appear to be standing down. Some good news from this section of Lower Merion Township. Back to you.
Very good news. Busy afternoon there. Meanwhile, Joe, we're going to switch now to Nikki Dementri. She's speaking with neighbors in West Philly about what they saw when the police swarmed that area.
Yeah, again, that's where 2 of the suspects were taken into custody at 52nd Street. They were spotted there and taken into custody in a car there. So let's listen to what some of the neighbors in that area had to say.
Well, I was in the house finishing up Dalton Abbey, and my husband came in and said there's a whole bunch of police outside, and also his citizen app was going off, basically saying someone armored truck robbery, but we were thinking it's in Bryn Mawr. How did they get all the way over here? We come out and the block is full of cops up and down the street. And so the next thing we know, FBI is here. They pulled the guy out the car. They blocked off the whole block, and they were just on it. Everyone was outside. Everyone's conversating, trying to figure out what's going on, because the car that was on the citizen app said Honda, but that was a Dodge. So we're like, well, is that even the right car? What's actually happening? And everyone was just, putting in their 2 cents of what they saw. And we were just talking, how neighbors come out because, not normally, we're used to some police activity, but this was a lot of police activity.
Well, Sunflower had the same questions we had. Where's the Charger? Where's the Honda?
It was a lot of conflicting information initially.
So let's break this down for everyone. So this all started shortly after 11 o'clock this morning. Police issued a shelter-in-place order in Bala Cynwyd. This is after there was a report of 3 possibly armed suspects that were involved in that Brinks robberies over the summer that occurred in June through the middle of August. There was a chase from West Philly over City Avenue into Bala Cynwyd area. We are now learning that the 3 suspects have been apprehended, 2 in West Philly, one in Lower Merion.
Yeah, one on foot, that was on foot in Lower Merion. We're also now hearing, we know there was a shelter in place that had been issued for residents in that area. We're hearing that that is being lifted right now. We're still awaiting information and confirmation about the lockdown with schools. Again, out of an abundance of caution, several schools have been placed on lockdown as well. So we're still waiting to hear the status of those schools at this point. But we're following this. We've got reporters in West Philadelphia, Joe Holden in Bala Cynwyd. Again, just giving us a clear picture on all of the activities that have happened from West Philly into Lower Merion this afternoon involving these 3 suspects who are wanted in connection with several armored truck robberies.
School recess about to happen within the next hour or so. As you heard a few minutes ago, authorities say that they will have police at those schools just to kind of wrap things up. But right now, as an abundance of caution, the lockdown for the schools are still in place, but they're probably going to be lifted shortly.
Probably. And of course, we're going to be following this. We've got our newscast coming up at 4 o'clock this afternoon for you first. Of course, we're always streaming online for you. CBS News Philadelphia will bring you the latest there as we get more information. Have a good afternoon.